All right. Hey everyone. Let me know if you can hear me all right. Hey Ryan. Hey Sir Taroba. Is T64 still being made? Yep, for sure. All right. Hey everyone. Let me know if you can. Oops. A little quiet. All right. Yep, for sure. I'll turn it up a little bit. Stuck at work. Yeah, I'm actually on vacation right now, which is why I'm kind of working on something different at the moment. I'll end up making a video about it, but I've been doing some other stuff. Stuck at work. Yeah, I'm actually on vacation right now, which is why I'm kind of working on. Oops. Yeah, Isaac, I'm still making it. Just taking a slight break from it. Yeah, so basically what my goal is right now is that I'm kind of wanting to work on a smaller project just to get more experience. And because a part of me doesn't feel like I'm quite ready to like make Trinity the way I like. I don't feel like I have the enough skills with certain things to make it the way that I want it to end up being. So I'm trying to do smaller things to just get more experience. So with this game I'm working on, which so far I've only been working on it a week, is basically like, I want it to be like Halo and Zombies and Metroid kind of combined. So that's my goal. And I've got a decent amount of stuff done. Primarily just focusing on just the mechanics and the feel of the game, not really focused on the visual aspect. Which is one thing that I was doing wrong when working on Trinity. But that's mostly because when I started working on Trinity, I didn't have experience in like literally anything. So, but with this, I currently have like, I've gained a lot of experiences with like modeling and just putting together something. So, my goal is to try to create this to be something that is small that I can release within like a short amount of time, and just try to get experience with like completing a full game and releasing it. So, so currently, like I said, it's like Zombies. So these little things are just spawn points. Currently, only one of them works at a time, but yeah, I'm still working on it. I have a round system, so you know, a certain amount of them spawn every round. They get more health each round. And they also have like how in Zombies, how they start to slowly get faster to a certain point. Let me know if this is loud. They even have a chance to drop power up. There is like some ragdoll stuff. So if you shoot them in the legs, they get knocked away. There's even headshot stuff. I modeled this gun. I created the reload animation. There's these little fusion coils like in Halo. Shoot them, they explode. So see, you can see more of them are starting to spawn. Now the visuals for this game in my head are like all in my head right now, so I know, like, I kind of have a good idea of what I want the game to look like, and because I have experience making stuff, I'm pretty confident that I can make it the way I want to look. You know, there's a lot of stuff even from Trinity that got ported over, like this projectile is the ignited sprites attack, so even the muzzle flash I already made before. Got the reload mechanic to work. You can see up in the top right that it's very Halo. Like, I'm using Halo as a base to know what it's supposed to look like since I have experience with that game. You can see I have hit markers. If you hover over an enemy, it turns red. Even the barrels are like that, or the fusion coils, so you know what's hazardous. You know, we got bullet decals. Like, there's so much placeholder stuff, so I just want people to be aware of that. That I'm really focused on just the mechanics and making sure things work, while also trying to kind of like get an idea of visuals and stuff. I'm going for a more pixely kind of look with this game. One game I'm very much inspired by is Metroid Prime Hunters, which mostly the multiplayer side of it. It was one of my favorite DS games. I mostly liked the bounty hunters and how they all had unique weapons. So my goal is to kind of create this, make the weapons not just feel like weapons, but feel like your arm. It's gonna be very Metroid-y, where like it's like your arm is kind of being consumed by something. You could kind of think of this game as it kind of being like Halo Flood zombies in a way. At least that's what I'm going for. Cat's meowing. They even damage you, so as you can see, I got this. It's damaging my shield, so I have a shield mechanic. After a bit, it recharges. They broke it. And one cool thing is that I can even flag the enemies to have a shield. So if I want the zombies for some reason, or whatever these creatures end up being, to have a shield, that will also be the case. Running low on ammo, and luckily one of them dropped it. As you can see, they're pretty slow right now. I mean, I know that when I, end up making this game... Oh my god. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I know whenever I end up making this game that, your starting weapon's going to be a lot weaker, like in regular zombies. But... So that's why they're a little slow right now. But they do speed up as the rounds progress. So I am trying to keep that stuff in mind. But I'm not super worried about balancing right now, because I haven't made like an actual level. Just focus on making sure the mechanics work. The next wave, I'm going to gather them up and blow them up with these, because it's pretty fun. I don't have any way to recover my health right now, so it's kind of low. Now, around this round is when the faster ones start showing up. The max that can be out is 24, so I think right now we're at the first max. Uh-oh, stuck. And obviously that's super fun. Just kill the entire wave. And then as you can see, well, never mind, this is the next round. So as you can see, there's one on the side right here. This is a faster one. So at this point, they're starting to get faster. And obviously one of the fun things about zombies is kind of like exploring the level. So having the early zombies be, you know, quite a bit slower. Is kind of ideal early. And obviously you want to get the spawns all set up properly. Like, they won't just all be spawning in a line. They'll be spawning kind of based on where you're at in the map. And I have a lot of ideas for kind of like the aesthetic of the game. Like I said, I really want like alien looking weapons and kind of like facilities and stuff. I really want to lean into the sci-fi aspect a lot. I'm just gonna pick one of these up because I can't do anything. I don't have a melee or anything like that right now. So basically once I run out of ammo, I'm kind of screwed. Which that's kind of how zombies is. Obviously I don't have a point system, but that will be a thing. Yeah, the T-posing. I'm gonna blow these guys up. There's also some weird bugs where, like, if I'm standing on certain parts, they kind of just, kind of freeze. Whoops. But my goal is not to overcomplicate this game. Like, that's why I'm using zombies, because I think it's a very, like, simple game. I know there's probably other clones out there, but I'm not really worried about that part. I'm more just worried about trying to create a game that feels, like, complete and polished, but still has, like, a style that fits the stuff that I like. And because there's a max zombie count per, like, that it's allowed to be out on the level, it's just like zombies, how you can kind of have, like, a max horde amount. And then once you start killing them, they start spawning again. And the way I have it set up for the rounds is that the closer we get to round 15, the more of the, you can start seeing that there's a lot more of them that are, like, faster. Obviously headshot damage does more. And I kind of have it set up to where the guns will do different things. Like, I'm going to be participating in GMTK the next couple days, so the game jam. And my goal is to kind of create like a weapon revolving around the theme, just to see what I can do, and then try to do some more visual stuff to just see if I can make something that looks appealing. But we'll see what the theme is. It might not work, but the bodies disappear after a certain time. I think it's like 10 seconds that I put. I can have them fade out, which is probably better than them just disappearing, but I think most of the time people won't notice either way. And what I want is like, I want the zombies to kind of be something like combination of like Metroids, the Flood, and like just other kind of weird alien creatures. If you shoot them in the below the pelvis, they go flying. So that's also a big staple of like Halo is like the physics. You know, whenever you throw a grenade, the bodies just go flying after they explode and die, which is always really fun. Ow. And right now they have no attack animation, so it's just like when I get in range of them to attack, they will just instantly do their like attack. But obviously whenever I create like the actual creatures and model it and everything, create animations, then I'll be able to you know, they'll feel a lot better, like a lot more interactive. And then there's a bug where I just I killed myself, I can't move. So I don't have like a death thing going on yet. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of like clean up some code and stuff. Yeah, I could definitely add something like that. Alrighty. So there's my little fuel cell. It's extremely simple. I literally just try to make it look like a pixely low poly version. Yeah, I mean, I could do that with the Spectre. I guess I wanted to not spend so much time on, because that would have been a placeholder thing. I'm trying not to spend too much time on like placeholder stuff. I know I modeled this, but I'm more just, sometimes I do like little things to see if like I like the style of it or whatever. This is fine. Guess I'm gonna make some folders for the materials. UI. Environment. It's objects. That's going in there. I'm gonna rename this. I'm gonna call it flipbook. Ooh, that's another one. I'm gonna do particles, because this is part of particles. Yeah, I definitely have some more, like I want to make some staple guns. I kind of want them all to be kind of unique to their own. Because one of the reasons why I'm so inspired by Metroid Prime Hunters is that one of the things that I love about that game is that whenever you pick a different character, like the HUD changes and the gun looks so different, and you like know immediately just by looking at the screen like what weapon they have, who they're playing. And I kind of want that distinction. And I want the guns to feel very different, like really like animate them and whatnot. Like I'm probably gonna have, like you're probably gonna start off with some sort of like, you know, pistol like gun, and you can have different like, I don't know, you know, call it like human guns, but it's gonna have that kind of Halo aspect to it where like picking up like alien, basically like alien limbs or parts as like the weapon. I just think it would be super cool. And that's another thing that I really want for this project is I want to be organized, because Trinity is not, because it's my first, like, it was like my first project in Unreal, it's extremely messy, which is unfortunate. Shield. And that's another thing, like the HUD itself, like I want it to change colors based on the gun that you have. So like for example, say I pick up a gun that's like the Needler, and let's just say it's purple, just for the sake of an example. But like you'll pick it up, and it's also kind of like Halo 2, so it kind of works into that Halo aspect as well, where you know, whenever you play like like when you play like the Arbiter in Halo 3 or whatever, your HUD's different. It's not because of the weapon, but it is, but I want the weapons to kind of reflect the HUD, similar to like Metroid Prime Hunters. So whenever you pick up like a gun that's purple and like the Needler, your HUD will become purple. Maybe it has like a different kind of design slightly. And so it'll really feel like you have that weapon and like you're kind of like one with the weapon. Yeah, I don't make the, you know, I'm not going to make the traditional Unreal games probably ever. I can't even, Unreal runs really badly on my computer. Like I can't even make a game unless I like turn a bunch of stuff off. So. One thing that's cool about this material right here is I essentially created like I made these this little sprite sheet of these numbers, and that's like what's on the gun right here. So it's not even like a font, it's just like an image, and it's kind of cycling through the different texture coordinates on the image. But I like kind of drew those numbers, and I like how stylized they are. Not every gun will have that, like some might have like a meter or whatever, but graphics card. I have a 2080 Super, but I have a laptop that's like 6 years old, so I am building a computer right now, though. Yeah, I'm making a smaller game. I just want the experience of making a smaller game. I mean, I'm doing this so I can make Trinity a better game. Because Trinity I started when I didn't know anything, and I have went back and like redone things, but I still feel like there's things that I need a lot more practice in. So I'm also got like the overlays for taking damage. So if you take shield damage or if you take health damage, this is just a pixel. I use this for particles because I want like this stylized, you know, because Trinity is a lot more like N64 smooth stuff. I kind of want to try something different with this, where it's more pixely in a lot of ways. Also have the scan lines material, but you know, we'll see. I try not to get too... I know some people find that stuff annoying with like screen effects, so I'm trying to be careful with that, but I still have it here. I have the hit marker. Now the thing is about this hit marker is that it will, because the reticle will also change with the gun, like the hit marker style will also change with the gun most likely. Same thing with this, the ammo. Just like in Halo. And the same thing with this icon for the gun. I have like a Razer Blade 15 laptop. So this is a formula thing. So I'm just gonna make a folder for other. Trying to make sure I'm organized before GMTK. And I made these white so that they can be colored, and you know, I store all this information in the gun like data. So it should be like one of those things where as soon as you pick up the gun and you like have it equipped, you just change everything. So I'll have like a function for that. I misspelled fuel. It's like the metal of the core or the tank. And this is like a pixelated noise. I'm probably gonna put this in other. Even though it's kind of for, well, I'm gonna put it in particle actually. I think it's more used for particles, but whatever. Oh yeah, this is my little number texture. That's what shows up on the gun. Oops. All right, this is all UI. It's going in there. Okay, cool. So for environment, I have nothing because I haven't, like, well, I'm going to move some stuff, but I'm going to have like a trash folder. You struggle to make textures? Is there, what kind of game or like what style of graphics are you making for your game? Or like what game does you're wanting your game to look like? Meshes. So yeah, we have a bunch of materials in here. I don't want that in there. Objects. There. I made this little pawn. It's just for testing. Then we got my gun. Yeah, we can look at the gun. I literally just made like a low poly assault rifle from Halo. Added my own little like glow thing on the side. But I was trying not to spend too much time on it, just trying to make something that looked like a low poly version of the assault rifle. Another way I'm keeping the game simple is normally in like FPSs, you know, your character has arms. Sometimes they're a whole model of a character. Sometimes they're just arms. I'm doing it even simpler than that by literally just making it a gun and a camera. I don't want to keep it, I don't want it to be any more difficult than that. So. Yeah, I definitely want this to feel like old Halo. I mean, actually, in a way, it's probably going to look like worse than Halo, like 1, maybe even. I don't know. I think it will have its own style ultimately, but like, I put this like pixelated carbon fiber like material on it. And one thing about the numbers on the gun, they're actually just, they're just little planes that are just attached to the gun. That's all it is. It's not even part of the actual mesh. So. So this stuff is going... It's going to materials. Objects. I'm probably gonna have a separate one for guns. Or, let me say weapons. Because I call things weapons, not guns. But yeah, I'm gonna have a separate thing for weapons. So. Particles. This is fine, this is fine. I'm gonna rename this to... See what this is. Weapon shot base. Oh, I don't need that anymore, actually. That's why I was confused. That. How did I make the skybox? So you've probably seen the skybox a lot because, I don't know, I just really like it. I think it looks like really ethereal and alien, but I know this is probably going to be not a very satisfying answer, but I basically drew it on my iPad and I just kind of like used a bunch of symmetry tools and stuff and just kind of made this weird looking pattern. And then I kind of mixed some colors and then I just applied all these different like weird effects to it. I just kind of made something weird and random. And then I put this texture on like, it's just a giant dome that's over the level. So the fog is also like really helping it out by kind of fading into the skybox. I really like it though. I really like skyboxes, so I'm kind of excited to make more. Yeah, Unreal definitely takes a bit to get used to. But I personally really like it a lot. Wait, what is this again? Oh, this is the projectile. I'm gonna call it weapon projectile base. Pit base. All right. Thanks, Troba. I'm really excited to like make like a really cool location, because also some of the areas I want to make, because I'm probably only going to do like 3 maps. I think that's what my goal is. You know, I want it to be a game where like if I want to add more later, I can. So it's probably just going to be like 3 maps. You know, each map will kind of be laid out and be different from each other. Have like some sort of like wonder weapon like in Zombies. But some of them will be indoors. I want one to be indoors, one to be like outdoors, and then one to be kind of a mixture. So I'm excited to make more like environments and stuff. Yeah, it's slowly rotating. I mean, you can either like, I don't know why I have it like this, but it's a blueprint. You don't really need it to be a blueprint. You could also just like, you know, you could rotate it. Oh, actually, I do have it doing that. So it's rotating, but it's also like, this is what the texture looks like. But it's also rotating in the texture itself. I would love to collab with Nordist. He seems like he's quite busy, because he has like a kind of a big YouTube channel now, so usually when you have a bigger YouTube channel like that, you have to do a lot to maintain it. I don't know if I need this. It says player stats. I don't think I need this at all, actually, this whole thing. Hope that didn't break anything. Alright, what are we doing? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? On damage system. I'm just gonna do that right now. So I don't really need the pawn functionality right now. Okay. I know why it's like that, because I updated the death. What the death is like. Hey, Tara. What have I learned from so far? Well, one, I've learned... I think just going into the project with more knowledge is already something that... I don't think that's something I learned, but that's something that... kind of the other way around, like I learned from Trinity going into this. Certain things, so I feel like I'm able to not make certain early noob mistakes I did in Trinity in the beginning. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I don't blame Trinity for that. It's more just I just didn't know certain things. So, like, you know, if you try to make a game and you have never modeled before, you've never animated before, you've never put together a level, designed anything, made mechanics, you know, you're gonna make a ton of mistakes. So as long as you're just aware of that. But so far from this, it's more like I'm learning to just keep things simple and to keep things in a more prototypey look. Like, you know, I just threw trees in the background. This isn't a level. I don't care about this being a level necessarily. I'm just trying to focus on making sure things work as I build them. And I think because I have the experience of learning how to make visuals, I don't feel the need to worry about that right now, because I'm confident in my abilities to like make the visuals for the game. But before, when I started Trinity, I wasn't confident because I just simply didn't know if I could even make the game look the way I wanted to. So. But there's kind of like things, I'm kind of trying to do things in a certain step format where I'm trying not to jump gun on certain things, and I'm also not trying to overthink. Because I've also just been playing more indie games lately, and I've realized that you don't need to make things like crazy complicated for them to be fun. And I think a game like this is simple enough because it's a very arcadey genre, and it's ultimately pretty simple. I mean, zombies, I don't think anyone would say zombies is like, and Halo's like super complicated. I would say people would say Halo's a lot more complicated, but you know, I'm not engaging with all of the Halo things, just more of the game feel and aesthetic. So, you know, I think like, okay, for example, like this is just the max ammo power up. Before, if I was to make that when I started Trinity, I would probably be like, okay, what do I want it to look like? I need to fully design it. I need to know what it's going to be like. I need to like create the particles for it and all this other stuff, and be very worked up over making sure that it was perfect. And something like that shouldn't take me that long. Like I should be able to kind of be okay with just leaving stuff in a prototype state. Like it doesn't matter what the sound effect is. I just throw a sound effect in there. I'll worry about that later because I have more confidence that I can make it look and sound and feel the way that I want it to. This gun is projectiles because I'm kind of also being a lot more inspired by things like Quake and other arena shooters. So there will be hit scan weapons, but this type of gun, like if it's going to be like this, I don't want it to be hit scan. I kind of want there to be kind of more, I don't know how to explain it. I just wanted to have like a different feel, I guess. But if I make a gun like some sort of like railgun sniper thing, like it might be hit scan, but it might take a long time to reload. An example, like a big inspiration for this project is Metroid Prime Hunters, where most of the guns in that game that the different bounty hunters have are like projectile based, but there's a character called Trace, and he has a like his weapon is like a hit scan sniper, and it's pretty slow, but people like playing them because it's like it's slow and deadly, but it's just really satisfying to pull off. But part of me is trying to build the base of a like something that feels like an arena shooter, but zombies. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me, like even like these, like I didn't have to model these, but I just did because I mean they were simple. It didn't take me that long, and I'm not expecting these to be in the final game, but I just wanted to see if I could get some sort of like weird crunchy pixely look and see how that looked in game. And I do think aesthetics matter a lot in a game. I think a game with not appealing aesthetics, it doesn't really matter how good mechanically it is, because a lot of people just won't even give it a try. So that's why I also worry about how the game looks. Also, it's the first thing people see. People don't necessarily feel your game, they see it first, so. But like I said, now I currently have like a lot more confidence that I can make something look appealing. As long as I'm excited about it, basically. Yeah, Prime Hunters multiplayer is definitely honestly, it's probably like one of my first online shooter multiplayers experiences. you know. Also, I have the post-processing turned off, like the materials. I know some people like this stuff, some people don't. Like if I turn it on, you know, like this is something you know, it's probably going to be like a setting or something. I don't know. Part of me likes it, part of me doesn't. You know, obviously I can tweak things. You know, it's pretty retro-y, but I'm not sure if I like 100% am on board with it. But even doing stuff like in Trinity, I mess around with that stuff, but you know. Sound effects. Oh, some of these are some that I made. Some of these are not that important. Like I made the reload sound. All these I consider to be placeholder, though. So what is this? Noise. Materials. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the post-processing. Did that not work? Oh, it did. What did that do? Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the things I've always said is that have something like you want something playable and presentable, you know. I think a lot of people do make really cool prototypey stuff, like it has all the bones and all the functions, but like you're just not going to sell it to like the average player if it doesn't have like a look to it. You know, you need to have some sort of aesthetic to it. Otherwise, a lot of people just simply won't care, unfortunately. It's just how it is. I'm not going to make a thing for widgets, actually. I don't plan on having too many HUD things. At least not right now. Levels. I'm going to make a temp folder, actually, because a lot of this stuff is not stuff that I'm keeping. So. Because I migrated a bunch of random stuff from Trinity and stuff over to here, so like this is all stuff. So I'm gonna move this whole thing. Well, delete that. Tells me not to delete it, but it's fine. Yeah, I know. I definitely understand like people that are very program heavy and they don't have like the art skill, because obviously like a good game also has good programming and like good mechanics and things like that. It's just you kind of need both for like regular people to care. Because you even can't even have a game that just looks good, because there's a lot of games online that like people will see, they're like, oh, this looks really cool, and then they play it and they're like, oh, this kind of something feels off. And that's just how it is. I thought I deleted this. Hello? You even see I have a Guardians thing. So here's my projectile for my gun. It is the one from the Ignited Sprite. Weapon. And I'm just calling the gun that I'm using the base gun, because that's just, like, it's not going to be in the game, in the final game, but that's just what I'm calling it. So this is gonna go in blueprints for now. Nothing in that. And then these are all things I need for materials. I'm just gonna put them over there for now. And then I can delete this Ignited Sprite folder. Yeah. I mean, general audiences will likely, like, you'll have, like, people that are hardcore that they'll want to play whatever the genre is. They don't necessarily even care about how it looks, but you should always want your game to reach as much people as possible. And I do think the majority of people do care about how a game looks. I think they care more about the game having something appealing visually, or like how it feels or sounds. This is all for the muzzle flash. So these are also going in materials. This is what helps, is that I made some of this stuff already, so it's like, that's one of the benefits of, you should, like, even if you're not making, like, I feel like even if you're not making like a single game, just making like systems or like learning how to make assets or whatever, just having projects where, I would say even maybe make a project where you kind of just like make a bunch of prototype stuff that you just kind of use to house all these things that you want to keep or maybe use for other games, and then you could always just like migrate them over. That way you don't have to keep remaking it, as long as you know, remember how it works and stuff like that. This level is just not getting deleted for some reason. It's really weird. Level prototyping. Gonna put this whole thing in temporary. Sure. I definitely still look up ways to code things because, well, usually I will always try to do it in a way that I can understand, and because it's always kind of like a, like, even some of like people that have made, you know, really successful indie games, they've like looked things up or like looked up tutorials on how to do something because they didn't know how to do it for that game, even if it's like wildly successful. So just like, it's not necessarily like any shame in it, but you should definitely try to understand what you're doing. And sometimes it's not necessarily that I can't make it work. It's just maybe there's an easier way to make it work, or maybe I'm doing something like wrong and maybe I want to double check what I'm doing. But even for this, I mean, I like, for example, like, I'll show you. Like, for the ragdolls, I haven't really done anything with ragdolls before. I mean, I tried to, like, do things like, oh, just turn on physics or whatever, but that didn't work, and I wanted to find a video that was specifically showing what I was wanting to do, which I found a video that was, like, essentially replicating, like, the Halo kind of ragdoll effect. You know, where they all go flying, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted that. And so while I could have spent like multiple hours just trying to do it myself and figure it out, it was definitely a lot more useful for me to look up the right way of doing it, as long as I'm understanding what's going on. Yeah, I definitely find bringing things over from other projects to like add a lot. Like the trees and the rocks, they're all from Trinity, the skybox from Trinity. It doesn't really like, you know, the textures and stuff. You don't need to, but like certain things like I took the stamina system from Trinity and I kind of reworked it into, I just changed a few things and then it became the shield system for this game. So this, I'm gonna try to work something in with the GMTK game jam for this, but I'm not guaranteeing it. Like if it goes against too much of what I'm trying to do, like it's not a game jam I'm trying to win or anything. It's just more just I want to participate in it because I'm on vacation right now. But like if the theme is like, I don't know, say like gravity or something, then I'll make like a gravity gun or something like that, you know. That's kind of what I'm doing. But that gets revealed tomorrow at 1 o'clock my time, which is Eastern. Yeah, I've seen like Trin Trim and stuff. I actually really like using this thing in Unreal called, whoops. It's just the cube grid tool. I mean, I find it really simple to use. I mean, you just kind of like, you know, it's like, oh, I want a tower thing in the middle, and then you have a tower thing in the middle, and then you can do things like, you know, make ramps and stuff like that. I really like using this tool because it feels really natural. And in this game specifically, it's going to work out pretty well for me because it's going to be more sci-fi, so it's okay if like areas are more blocky. And yeah, when I can, I try to just stick to the engine. I'm really trying to avoid using like plugins and stuff when possible, because I just don't want to fill like my projects with a bunch of stuff or like make the workflow require like a ton of different programs and stuff. But I do know a lot of people like it, and it has been something I looked into. Put that there. Hey, Phoenix. Like, I don't need this stuff, but I'm gonna wait. This is all stuff that comes with the first person starter kit thing. I really hate how this is not actually deleting. Maps. I call this map Halo. I know, super original. I'll leave that. We got maps. Delete this. Please just delete. Just doesn't want to delete. First person arms. Don't care about that. Not doing arms. Hey Sonic. Hey Fato. Hey look, Unreal crashed. It's like one of the best parts. And I didn't save anything, so it probably didn't save my file maneuverage. It's the main bad thing about Unreal. It just like, I don't know. If you don't have like a super beefy computer and you do like one wrong thing, it's it just crashes. Oh my God, please. What? Is it opening another one? Oh, it saved it. Yeah, I'm still working on my laptop. I deleted the trees and stuff. Whatever. I don't care. I don't need the trees. The more prototypey looking, the better. As long as these guys... Oh, wait. My ammo's messed up. Let's go look at my ammo. I mean, I knew this was going to happen anyway. Hmm. Why is it not showing my ammo? Hmm. Yeah, I got like a music Zelda playlist going. Oh, for some reason these are set to 0. All right. That's so random. So Max, I'm just going based off of like the assault rifle. So basically I can change these. Like if I want it to have like 100 in the mag, I can do that. The max reserve, I had it at 125 just for testing, but we'll go with We'll go 600. And then that should work. Yep. There we go. I don't know why it was like that. I haven't changed those in like a hot minute. All right, that works. Yeah, the music's a little quiet. I'll turn it up a little bit. Okay, materials. Ammo. Huh. This is like the ammo screen. I'm just gonna call it that. It's just what's on the gun. Put under UI. Even though it's on the model, I'm still like UI. And then this is just like the glow effect that I have for gun. I don't need that. I don't think I do. It's saying it's part of that, but it's not. Oh, these are meshes. So I'm gonna put those with the meshes. And I'm gonna rename these. Weapon, projectile, smoke ribbon. It's kind of a long name, but that's fine. It's kind of a combination of a side project and for the game jam. Like, I started before the game jam, just trying to build a bunch of mechanics, and I'm going to try and use the game jam as like a springboard for like trying to, I guess, make the game look presentable with like a gun that looks cool, and maybe make an environment. I'm not stressed out about it too much. Like if it's not something I feel like I'm comfortable submitting because it just didn't work out, then I'm okay with that. I just wanted to participate in it because I thought it'd be fun. My first Metroid Prime game was Prime Hunters. It's actually I played Metroid Prime 1, but it was a really long time ago. Other than that, I haven't played any of them. need that. And it goes there, and we're good with that. Particles. This. Weapon. Muzzle flash. Yeah, Prime Hunters was the one on the DS. It's actually a super impressive game for the DS. I'll show you some gameplay. Hold on. Just because I think it's super cool. Just so people can kind of get an idea of what I'm going for with the visuals and whatnot.
I think I need.
I mean, they won't be as this pixelated, but like this is kind of like the aesthetic I guess I'm going for. Maybe I can find a better video actually. Hold on. All right, here's one with Vinesauce. So this is Trace. He has like a hit scan sniper. They also have their own transformations and stuff, which is really cool. I'm mostly just like how the UI is kind of integrated into the character, the like screen and stuff, the way the guns look, that kind of thing. Yeah, the controls are not great. I just feel like this is like untapped Nintendo potential here. Like they could have a hero, because this is like basically like the first hero shooter. Like Nox or whatever is like spinning. There was like different pathways you could take with the transformations, kind of like Samus's ball, like going through different thing. I don't know, it's super cool. And I love the character designs. I thought they were awesome. But I don't know, I feel like Nintendo could have like a whole hero shooter in the Metro universe if they really wanted to, but I don't know. They don't care. So, but that's my goal. Also, I can show. Hold on. Let me close this. And another way is I also am able to reference like the levels and stuff. Like I'm not going to make the levels how they have it, but it's still good for like graphical comparisons. Yeah, Metroid Prime Hunters. So I can literally pick like whatever level. Let's just say Sanctoris. So like this level, super small, but it's pretty cool. Wait, is this even the... Oh yeah, this is the multiplayer. Combat Hall, this is like a famous one. Very small, it's got these little passageways for whenever you transform. It's just a fun arena shooter, like really quick, fast pace. But I really like the designs of all these locations. I think they're really cool. And I want to make environments like this. This one's really cool. This is like in space. Yeah. So that's kind of like my visual inspiration, or that's what I'm going to be going for. Alrighty. Let's see. What else? What else? So this stuff isn't getting deleted for whatever reason. Whatever. I guess I'm gonna organize my damage system and stuff. Well, let me do the weapons first. So this is a component that houses all my weapon info. It's kind of getting the weapon data, it's setting the mag size, setting the current ammo to the mag size, and then setting the reserve to the max reserve. When you say web build, what do you mean? You mean like online? I'm just gonna say in it. That's interesting. I don't know if it'll work with browser because Unreal is just so beefy. It's like, doesn't matter what you make, it's going to be like 500 megabytes minimum. Stuff's got to get moved around. So I have different weapon states, just firing, loading, if you're meleeing. Yeah, I know, because I mean, each node is kind of doing like a ton of different things and stuff, and most of the time you might even be using all of what the node is doing, and so it's kind of just kind of wasteful, I guess. Base weapon hit. Ah. Hey, dog. Bye, Phoenix. Um, what you making? I'm making zombies Halo, basically. But it's very, very prototypey, so. And shoot him in the legs and knock him over. Thanks, Votto. See you later. Yeah, I mean, I like it whenever I can feel like something feels fun and when it's not actually put together, because then I know when I'm actually going to do the visuals and stuff, it's going to be pretty awesome. But I still have quite a bit to do. Yeah, the T-posing guys. Scary. Like right now, they only spawn from one thing. So there's a bunch to do. But that's what I'm trying to set up myself to do. I'm basically just trying to set myself up to have a lot of fun, you know, fully making it. Yeah, it's going to be very, like... Basically, I'm going to start off by trying to just replicate, like, almost like a reskin zombies, but with, like, the Halo feel. So the general loop is going to be like how zombies normally is, where you just try to survive as long as possible. That's it, you know. There's not anything too much to it other than that. See how, like, long you can survive, what the highest round you can get to is. But I definitely want to have more to it than that. I want some sort of, like, meta progression, like, outside of the game. So, you know, how far you get into the game, or maybe how many kills you get with, like, certain guns, so that way it encourages people to play in different ways and things like that. But I'm kind of like trying to get the base down first, and then I'll think about more ideas later. Because I want to make sure that the general, like, gameplay of just running around killing zombies, grabbing, like, a gun. I want to say grabbing a gun off the wall, because, you know, it'll be different, but, like, having, like, something similar to perks and, you know, the power-ups and progressing the rounds and all that stuff. I want to make sure all that feels right and feels normal, and then I can go, okay, what can I add to this to make it feel unique? And I'm going to have different types of zombies. Like, I don't even want to say they're zombies. They're probably going to be more like, in my mind, kind of like a combination of, like, Metroids and the Flood. So I want them to be kind of alien-like and stuff. And, you know, zombies, they have, like, headshot points. You know, you do headshot damage and stuff. But I also want to kind of have different weak points on them, too. What is this? Oh, yeah. Anyway, projectile hits. This stuff is gonna get heavily redone. Not heavily, but when I add more weapons, I'm gonna have to change some things. Yeah, once, like, the spawn locations are different and at different intervals, the, like, enemies will kind of feel a lot more, like, natural when they're coming in to the map. Not really a massive fan of all this, but bye, dog. Alrighty. Well, I think I did some of the stuff that I wanted to do, and I wanted to just kind of show off what I was working on. Also, I guess I can show this off. I made this in a week. I don't know how many people know about this. Some of you do. What was the last movie I watched? I watched The Odyssey the other day. Or last week. This is Nevernight, my little 3D platformer. I had a lot of fun making this. Well, that's awkward. Hello? Game? Eh. Oof. Whatever. This is another game that I feel like has some decent potential. I'm just not, I'm not super good at 3D platformers, like as far as knowing what all the best things are to have for them. Also, the UI is not showing for some reason. Wow. Anyway. Yeah, it's a squishy little night. I really wanted a bouncy feel to it. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Like I said, I'll make a video about the Halo Zombies thing sometime next month. So, but thanks for stopping by, and I will see you guys then.